Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another lesson. Today, we are covering something that sits right at the top of almost every English learner's wish list. Something that separates English that sounds correct from English that sounds truly natural. Something that textbooks rarely teach, but native speakers use every single day, without even thinking about it.
Yes, and today we're pulling back the curtain on those secrets. The things that make native English sound the way it does. The patterns, the habits, the choices that create that natural, flowing, confident quality that learners work so hard to develop.
And we want to be clear about something before we start. Speaking like a native does not mean having a perfect native accent. It does not mean erasing every trace of your background. It means speaking in a way that sounds natural, fluid, and real, rather than textbook formal and stiff.
Many learners speak English that is technically correct, but sounds unnatural because they're using language patterns from a textbook rather than from real-life speech. Today, we're going to fix that.
So, let us get into the first secret. Native speakers connect their words together. They do not say each word separately and clearly with a little pause between each one.
This is one of the biggest differences between textbook English and natural spoken English. In natural speech, words flow into each other. They connect, they blend. Sometimes they almost disappear.
For example, the phrase want to in natural speech sounds like wanna. Going to sounds like gonna. Have to sounds like have to. Could have sounds like could have, almost like a single word.
Now, we're not saying you need to use these informal contractions in formal writing or professional emails, but in everyday spoken conversation, these connected forms are completely natural and very common.
And even beyond those specific reductions, native speakers naturally connect the end of one word to the beginning of the next. The phrase did you in fast speech often sounds like did ya. What are you doing can sound like what you doing.
The reason this matters for learners is that if you only practice separate, clearly pronounced words, you'll struggle to understand real native speech because you'll be listening for sounds that aren't there in the way you expect.
And when you start to connect your own words naturally in speech, it immediately sounds more fluent and more natural to the listener's ear. The secret is not to speak faster, but to connect more smoothly.
Practice this by choosing a short sentence and saying it several times, slowly at first and then gradually faster, focusing on connecting the end of each word to the beginning of the next without a gap between them.
The second secret is that native speakers use contractions constantly in spoken English. Not just cannot becomes can't and do not becomes don't, but also I would becomes I'd. She will becomes she'll. They are becomes their. We have becomes we've.
When you avoid contractions in spoken conversation, your English sounds very formal and stiff, like you're reading from a legal document rather than having a real conversation.
For example, I do not know what I would have done without you sounds formal and careful. I don't know what I would have done without you sounds warm, natural, and real.
The rule for contractions is simple. In casual spoken conversation, almost always use them. In formal writing and professional documents, use full forms. But in daily conversation, contractions are not just acceptable, they're expected.
Mistake to avoid. Using contractions too much. They are natural in moderate amounts, but overusing them, especially and can make you sound hesitant and unconfident. Use them naturally and occasionally rather than filling every pause with them. The most effective filler words for learners to practice are well, actually, you know, I mean, sort of, and to be honest. These are versatile, natural, and very commonly used by native speakers.
The fourth secret is that native speakers use informal vocabulary and phrasal verbs instead of formal single-word equivalents in everyday conversation.
This is a huge one. Textbooks often teach formal academic vocabulary, and while that vocabulary is useful and correct, using it in casual conversation can make you sound like you're giving a lecture rather than having a chat.
For example, a learner might say, "I was unable to attend the meeting due to a prior engagement." That is correct, but it's very formal. A native speaker in casual conversation would say, "I couldn't make it to the meeting. I had something else on."
Phrasal verbs are especially important here. Instead of saying, "I will contact you later," say, "I'll get in touch with you later." Instead of, "I cannot tolerate this anymore," say, "I cannot put up with this anymore." Instead of, "Please investigate this issue," say, "Please look into this issue."
Phrasal verbs can feel confusing at first because they're 2 or 3 words but act as a single verb with their own meaning. But they are absolutely everywhere in natural English, and learning them makes your speech sound immediately more authentic.
Some of the most useful phrasal verbs for daily conversation: carry on, meaning continue; find out, meaning discover or learn; give up, meaning stop trying; look forward to, meaning anticipate with pleasure; come up with, meaning think of an idea; let down, meaning disappoint; work out, meaning exercise or solve something.
Practice by finding the formal word you would normally use and replacing it with a phrasal verb equivalent. Then say the new sentence out loud several times until it feels natural to reach for the phrasal verb first.
The fifth secret is that native speakers use question tags to check understanding, invite agreement, and keep conversation flowing. It's a lovely day today, isn't it? You've been to Paris before, haven't you? She's coming tomorrow, isn't she?
Question tags are those little question additions at the end of a statement. They turn a statement into a soft question. They invite the other person to confirm or comment, and they make conversation feel warm and interactive rather than one-sided.
The basic rule for question tags is that if the main sentence is positive, the tag is negative, and if the main sentence is negative, the tag is positive.
It's a beautiful day, isn't it? Positive sentence, negative tag. You're not tired, are you? Negative sentence, positive tag.
The helping verb in the tag matches the helping verb in the main sentence. She's late, isn't she? They have finished, haven't they? He will come, won't he? You can help, can't you?
Mistake to avoid: using the same tag for every sentence, regardless of the main verb. Some learners say right or yes at the end of every sentence as a universal tag. That is understandable, but it doesn't sound as natural as a proper question tag in English conversation.
Practice by taking statements from your daily life and adding the correct question tag. It's a good lesson today, isn't it? You enjoyed that practice, didn't you? Building this habit makes your spoken English feel much more interactive and natural.
The sixth secret is that native speakers vary their intonation and stress. They do not speak in a flat monotone where every word gets the same emphasis and the same pitch.
Intonation is the rise and fall of your voice. Stress is which words or syllables you emphasize. Together, they carry meaning, emotion, and intention in spoken English.
For example, the sentence, "I never said she stole my money," can have 7 completely different meanings depending on which word you stress. "I never said she stole my money." Stress on "I" means someone else said it, not me. "I never said she stole my money." Stress on "never" means I absolutely did not say it. "I never said she stole my money." Stress on "she" means I implied someone else did.
That shows how powerful stress is in English. The words stay the same, but the stressed word completely changes the meaning. For learners, the most important intonation patterns to know are these: rising intonation at the end of a yes or no question, "Are you coming tonight?" Falling intonation at the end of a statement or a what question, "I'm coming tonight. Where are you going?" And questions that show interest or surprise often have a wide intonation range. Your voice goes up high and then comes down. That sounds like genuine engagement rather than flat reading.
Mistake to avoid: speaking with flat, even stress on every word. This is one of the clearest markers that differentiates native from non-native speech. Even if your vocabulary and grammar are perfect, flat, monotone delivery makes speech sound unnatural. Work on varying your voice.
Practice by shadowing native speakers and copying not just their words, but their pitch, their rises and falls, their emphasis. Exaggerate it first. The natural version will settle in over time.
The seventh secret is that native speakers use softening language to make requests, disagreements, and questions sound polite and natural rather than blunt and demanding.
This is about the difference between direct and indirect language. English, especially in British and many professional contexts, tends to favor indirect, softened language over very direct language.
So instead of saying, "Give me that," you say, "Could you pass me that, please?" Instead of saying, "You are wrong," you say, "I see it a little differently," or "I'm not sure that's quite right." Instead of saying, "I want to leave now," you say, "I think it might be time for us to head off."
The softening tools include modal verbs like could, might, and would. Phrases like I think, I feel, in my view, it seems to me. Hedging words like a bit, a little, sort of, kind of, perhaps, maybe, possibly.
Using these softeners does not make your English weak. It makes it sophisticated. It shows social awareness and an understanding of how English speakers manage politeness in conversation.
Mistake to avoid: being too direct in ways that can sound rude even when you do not mean to be. Direct translations from other languages into English sometimes produce sentences that sound blunt to English speakers even though they're perfectly polite in the original language.
Adding, "Could you?" "I was wondering if," "Would it be possible to?" or "I'm sorry to bother you, but," before a request makes a huge difference to how it is received in English-speaking environments.
The eighth secret is that native speakers use specific response phrases that show they're actively listening and engaged. These go beyond just saying yes or okay.
These are often called back channels. They're small responses that show you are following along, that you understand, that you're interested, and they make the speaker feel heard and keep the conversation moving naturally.
Examples of natural back channels. Right. Exactly. I see. Got it. Makes sense. Oh, really? No way. Wow. Tell me more. That's interesting. Good point. Absolutely. Fair enough.
When you only respond with yes or okay to everything, it can feel like you're not fully engaged, but using varied, natural back channels shows genuine participation in the conversation.
Mistake to avoid: using the same response word for everything. Some learners say yes, yes, yes to everything, regardless of what was said. Varying your responses makes you sound much more natural and engaged.
The ninth secret is that native speakers use idiomatic expressions naturally in conversation, and understanding these expressions, even if you don't use them all yourself, is essential for understanding real, natural English.
An idiom is an expression where the meaning is different from the literal meaning of the words. Hit the nail on the head means to be exactly right, not to literally hit a nail. Under the weather means feeling unwell, not literally being under bad weather.
Other very common idioms in daily English. Break the ice means to start a conversation in a comfortable way. On the fence means undecided. Let the cat out of the bag means to accidentally reveal a secret. Once in a blue moon means very rarely. Bite the bullet means to do something difficult that cannot be avoided.
You don't need to use idioms all the time. Overusing them can actually sound unnatural, but understanding them when you hear them and occasionally using the most common ones in the right context makes your English sound genuinely authentic.
Mistake to avoid: using idioms in the wrong context or overusing them. An idiom used incorrectly sounds much worse than not using it at all. Learn idioms in context, note when and how native speakers use them, and add them to your speech gradually and naturally.
The 10th secret is that native speakers are comfortable with silence and short answers. They don't feel the need to fill every moment with language. They know when to speak and when a simple short answer is the most natural response.
This is actually a confidence secret more than a language secret. Many learners feel that giving a short answer sounds rude or shows their English is limited, so they over-explain and over-elaborate, even when a short, natural response would sound much better.
For example, Did you enjoy the film? Yes, I really did. That's a perfect, natural answer. You don't need to say, yes, I enjoyed the film very much, it was an excellent production, and I found the storyline very engaging. That sounds like a formal report, not a conversation.
Short, natural answers followed by an optional detail or follow-up question are the natural rhythm of English conversation. Yes, I did. It was brilliant, actually. Did you see it? That's how conversations flow. Short responses, brief additions, questions back to keep it going, not long, formal speeches in response to every question.
Mistake to avoid: over-explaining every response out of fear that a short answer sounds rude or limited. Short answers in conversation are natural, normal, and often the best choice. Trust yourself to be brief. Now let's talk about how to put all 10 of these secrets together into real daily practice, because knowing them and using them are two completely different things.
The most effective way to practice these secrets is through immersive listening. Choose English content featuring real, natural conversation. Podcasts, interview shows, comedies, natural conversation videos, and listen carefully not just for what people say, but for how they say it.
Listen for the word connections. Listen for the contractions. Notice the filler words. Spot the phrasal verbs. Feel the intonation. And when you hear something that sounds particularly natural, pause, repeat it, imitate it exactly.
That imitation practice, trying to copy not just the words but the exact way they're delivered, is how your ear and your mouth learn what natural English actually sounds and feels like.
And speak out loud every day using these secrets consciously at first. Use a contraction in every sentence. Add a question tag. Use a phrasal verb. Use a softener. Add a filler word naturally.
At first, it will feel deliberate and even a little forced. That's completely normal. Every skill feels deliberate before it becomes automatic. The deliberate practice is how it becomes automatic.
Let's do a quick before and after comparison for each of the 10 secrets so our listeners can hear the difference clearly.
Before, I am unable to attend. After using contractions and phrasal verbs, I can't make it. Much more natural.
Before, can you explain that? After using softening language, I was wondering if you could explain that a little more. Much more polite.
Before, yes. After using back channels and follow-up, oh really? That's interesting. Tell me more. Much more engaging.
Before, I went to Paris. After adding natural filler and connection, well, I actually went to Paris last year, and it was, just incredible. Much more like real speech.
Before, do you like it? After using a question tag, you like it, don't you? Much more conversational and natural.
Before, I cannot handle this situation anymore. After using a phrasal verb, I just can't put up with this anymore. Much more natural and idiomatic.
6 before and afters. In every case, the after version sounds more natural, more real, more like something you would actually hear in a genuine conversation between native speakers.
And the difference was not complicated vocabulary or difficult grammar. It was all about these natural speech habits that native speakers use automatically every single day.
Let's close with a final summary of all 10 secrets.
James, 1. Connect your words together smoothly rather than saying each word separately. 2. Use contractions in all spoken conversation. 3. Use filler words and discourse markers naturally to keep speech flowing. 4. Use informal vocabulary and phrasal verbs in casual conversation.
5. Use question tags to make conversation interactive and warm. 6. Vary your intonation and stress to carry meaning and emotion. 7. Use softening language for polite, natural requests and disagreements. 8. Use varied back channels to show active listening and engagement.
9. Learn and understand common idioms and use the most natural ones occasionally in the right context. 10. Be comfortable with short, natural answers rather than over-explaining every response.
These 10 secrets are what natural English sounds like from the inside. They're the habits that come automatically to native speakers, but that learners can absolutely develop with conscious practice and daily attention.
And remember, the goal is not to pretend to be someone you're not. The goal is to let your real thoughts and personality come through in natural, confident, flowing English. These secrets give you the tools to do exactly that.
Every day you practice these habits, you're moving closer to that natural, fluent, confident English that brought you to lessons like this one in the first place.